for the fans welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
This is the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on For the Fans. Live from the harbors of Baltimore as we pass over the Baltimore Monument, we welcome you to Vultures Field, where the Vultures themselves are flying high as they remain the only unbeaten left in the SFL here in Week 8 of the SFL's 17th season. Hello everyone, I'm Tyler Falk. Baltimore comes in today not only to continue their unbeaten ways this season, but also against the team they face off with today, the London Knights. The Knights are coming off of 3 straight losses and are looking to right the ship. Mark Lopez joins me in the booth this afternoon. Mark, is it just the case of the Vultures having too many weapons, or is there an Achilles heel for these Knights to exploit?
Well, Tyler, you're absolutely correct about the Vultures having a wealth of weapons. A wealth of weapons indeed. Offensively and defensively, Baltimore are just playing at another level compared to the rest of the league. Their only potential Achilles heel, to answer your question, is their potentially mediocre rushing defense, only middle of the pack in terms of rush yards and touchdowns allowed. However, I'm looking at this game. London has been known to be a pass-first team, so we'll see if they attack Baltimore's weakness that way. Tyler, this game will no doubt be a David versus Goliath matchup, with London the heavy underdogs. London has lost all 4 meetings against Baltimore Vultures. The question is, will this story also end with the defeat of the overpowered Giants, or will the favorites reign supreme?
The Baltimore Vultures, like you mentioned, the number of offensive weapons, they lead the league in points per game, passing yards per game, total yards per game, and passing touchdowns. Through 7 weeks, here in Week 8, they look to continue their dominance as they'll start with the ball first. As here we go, kickoff from the harbors of Baltimore, Maryland. Return man will be Giovanni Bolt, always a dangerous return man, but he's going to get stopped up short at the 30-yard line. And let's introduce you to the Baltimore Vultures offensive starters. Jack Wigmore will start at quarterback with Jimmy Hazard, the rookie halfback. In front of him, the Hall of Famer T. Roy Gaines at fullback. Ivory Irvin, Daley Holder, and Mac Chima are the wideouts. And Lloyd Graham Jr. is the starting tight end. First play of the drive. Wigmore will start under center. Handoff to Hazard. He goes nowhere. Tackled almost immediately in the backfield by the London Knights defense. That's going to be Cam Frosby, the first-year man in London who spent 2 previous seasons in Sioux Falls.
And Tyler, this kind of a play, it's not surprising the result of this play because Baltimore, not a very rush-heavy offense and not a lot of carries, not a lot of yards, but just good defense all around for London on that one.
They cook up here on second down as Wigmore looks to the far right side of the field. He hauls it in. That's Lloyd Graham Jr., the tight end. And it'll be third and much more manageable compared to losing a couple yards on first down.
Yep, Lloyd Graham Jr., definitely a pivotal weapon, as we keep saying, for Baltimore. Lloyd Graham Jr. already 332 yards, 37 receptions this season, so a solid showing for him so far.
Now they're going to spread the field. 4 wideouts, 3 to the left, 1 to the right. And Wigmore's going to be all alone in the backfield. All slant pattern over the middle. That's hauled in and caught. Good catch from the tight end, Lloyd Graham Jr., and it moves the chains. First down, Baltimore.
And we might see an early indication of the Wigmore-Graham Jr. connection that we might see a lot this game, Tyler. And even if he only focuses on Graham Jr., just the accuracy of Wigmore, his incredible play style and sense of the field, and being able to exploit the defense has been so top-notch this season.
Heavy set from the Baltimore offense. Offset eye, 2 tight ends to the right. Wigmore back to pass, looking near side for the only true wide receiver on the field. That's Ivory Irvin, and he'll haul it in for a good pickup of 6 as we introduce you to the Knights defensive lineup. William Davidson, Swain Lane, Chad Rowland, and Cam Frosby are the men in the trenches on the defensive line, with Jeff Gagne, Tony Roberto, and Telemac Scarborough at the linebacker spots. Tanner Hendricks and Brandon Ewing and Emmanuel Blackman out of the corners, with Rain Rie and Anthony Wyo at safety. Another big heavy set, goal line set for the Baltimore offense. And they will run with Hazard to the near side. He tries to make a man miss just beyond the line of scrimmage, maybe only picks up a yard before he's met by Anthony Wayo.
Speaking of a lot of weapons, not only do they have a lot of weapons personnel-wise, Tyler, I think as well their looks that they give the defense, the amount of plays that they can come out with the same formation just poses a lethal threat to any defense that they face.
High formation again here, this time with two wideouts as we get an offsides penalty, and I'm going to give you three guesses here. It's Mr. Offsides himself, Chad Rowland, who gets the early start.
Not a good start for them. Not the kind of early start you want to have either. And against this Baltimore offense, you don't want to give them any inch moving forward. So they're going to try. London's defense going to shrug this off and try to clean up their game.
They're going to need to be on point both offensively and defensively if they're going to try and hold up this dangerous Baltimore offense, as now they'll move on the opposite side of the 50 into London territory from their 47. They'll come out with a bunch set near side. Everyone tight into that line. Wigmore takes a quick drop, looking over the middle. That's hauled in and going down the near side, and with a burst of speed, that's Matt Chima.
Nice.
He races away from the defenders and will waltz into the end zone for an early Baltimore touchdown.
Incredible play. The front four just got busted wide open. So no pressure on Wigmore right there, and Chima able to pick up that ball for a huge touchdown. Number 7 for the season. He was previously tied for 6th most, increasing his record on that one. And boy, we see the sign of the Baltimore engine roaring.
They can hurt you quick, they can hurt you fast, they can hurt you deep, they can hurt you short. There are too many weapons on this team, and they show it off here early on in the game. Only just over 2 minutes gone, and they're already on the board. Tarkington now on to attempt the extra point. Snap spot kick is up, and it is good, and, well, they are as advertised, these Baltimore Vultures here, Mark. 7-0 here early.
Absolutely. It's the scoring proficiency, Tyler, that they are boasting, like, beyond the number of yards they can get in the game is the number of touchdowns that they can convert those yards into.
Now Tarkington's going to go ahead and boot this one away, and the London Knights will have a chance to answer. It's on its way, and here comes Saren Storm with the return. He gets it maybe out to the 25. Yeah, we'll give him forward progress right there, and here come the offensive starters for London. Johnny Pickler in his first season with London, coming from Louisiana. Robert Merrill is the halfback, with Saren Storm, Mike St. Green, and Vin Kalia at the wide receiving spots. Benji Matson is the tight end. And two standout guards, Perrin Ibarra and Butch Menner. Pickler is going to immediately spread the field. 4 wide receivers, and he'll be all by himself in the gun. Pressure coming immediately. And that's another thing that you have to worry about for Baltimore. The immediate pressure that can immediately come up on you, especially from Sir Ron Yates IV.
Jeez Louise, the defensive tackles just surged in the moment the ball was snapped. Protection was barely noticeable, or nothing at all. Siron Yates, the 4th, the person with the leading number of sacks, 14 already this season. By the way, this is number 15. The opposing team's total sacks, 17. So just he himself is a force to be reckoned with.
5 wide now for Pickler and company. Pressure coming again. He gets it away, but throws it right to a Baltimore defender. And the Vultures are immediately asserting their dominance. This time it's Austin Brigham with the pick.
And this is what we were talking about, playing on another level, even on defense. This Baltimore secondary, this Baltimore defense has allowed only an opponent quarterback rating of about 54.4 across all of their 7 games, which is pretty crazy. They have the most interceptions. Well, this first interception is already a sign of how good they are at takeaways. We saw their incredible pressure in the front. So just absolutely insane defense. I'll
see if this explosive offense can add even more points to the board. Wigmore back to pass, looking over the middle. It's caught again.
my.
It's a one-play touchdown for Baltimore. Right back at them. Come the Vultures. It's Daly Holder with the TD.
I mean, this over-under of 61.5 might be beaten by Baltimore alone.
My goodness, it's just a textbook post route, and he beats Brandon Ewing on the near side, and just his speed there's so much speed in these Baltimore wide receivers, Mark. You can't just allow to play soft zone on these guys because they will burn you, and that's exactly what they did.
Absolutely agreed, Tyler. Absolutely agreed.
3 minutes and 1 second have gone by, and here comes Shark Tarkington to make it an early 14-point advantage. Snap, spot kick is up and through, and indeed, 14-0. Baltimore with an early lead. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at www.simulationfl.net. SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Aaron Storm starts his return from about the 2-yard line, angling near side, trying to get through the coverage team of Baltimore, and he's right back to where he got his last return, back up to the 25, and on comes Pickler and company as the Knights only had a 2-play drive, which resulted in that pick there, Mark. And so we talked about how you must play with perfection against Baltimore. And so far for Pickler, 2 passes, 1 sack, 1 interception. He's back to Bass again for a 3rd time in the ball game. Throws it near side. That's hauled in for the first completion of the day. And that's Mike St. Green making the toe-tapping tackle. Catch, excuse me.
And that's Johnny Pickler's special. Just throw a very quick out route to his receiver in a short route. Get 4 or 5 yards. He got 3 yards this time. Just keep matriculating the ball. A lot of times they've won, or their wins came off of winning the time of possession of short passes. Let's see if they can replicate it this game.
Deep drop from Pickler. Pressure coming from off the edge. He gets it away. Deep down the middle of the field. That's hauled in by Benji Matson down to the Baltimore 40.
Benji Matson, what a great grab. Not a lot of times you get to call his name every game. Only 21 receptions in the season. But what a great grab right there. What a great route. Being able to make himself open, probably being a low-key player and not being under Baltimore's radar is what allowed him to make that opening. And Pickler, gotta give him credit. He ran away from the pressure. Pressure was getting to him, and he makes the pass, makes the play.
They'll trot out 5 wide again. Here on a new set of downs from the Baltimore 40. Back to pass, looking near side. That's hauled in by Mike St. Green. Mike St. Green is loose, and he's into the end zone for a London touchdown.
Oh boy, they're firing back, London. Here they come. Tyler, from the looks of it, they're not going to back down from an offensive shootout versus Baltimore. It's going to be a question of, can they sustain this? Because this is such a good start. The way they executed this is nothing like the way they executed in the first drive. And Mike St. Green, what a great grab right there. And he was wide open. Baltimore left him alone.
Was involved twice on that drive with 2 nice catches. 1, an out route with a toe-tapping grab, and the final catch to culminate that 3-play, 66-yard drive with a 28-reception touchdown. And now on comes Peter McLongfellow to tack on the extra point. Snap, spot, kick is up, and it is good from Peter McLongfellow. And the Knights cut into that lead. It's now 14-7 Baltimore.
This is what we were talking about. Very similar in terms of offensive blueprint. London, also a pass-first heavy offense. As a result of that, being pass-first heavy, you get to score quickly as well. And they showed it here. They scored it under a minute. The drive started at 7 minutes 54. And now it's only 7 minutes 04 on the clock. Very quick answer by London.
May this scoring frenzy continue as Giovanni Bolt gets his return started. Tries to angle back inside. He's wrapped down, and now on come the Vultures. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns here, Mark. And we know this pace can continue for these Vultures.
Yep, and now it's up to London now to slow down the pace, at least on the defensive end. But it's just too much to handle. There are so many weapons, and how many cornerbacks or star defensive backs can you put on one defender without letting another one open?
Offset single back behind Wigmore as he's back to pass. Looks over the middle into coverage, and it's incomplete. Jeff Gagne was standing right in the center of the field and knocks it down.
And Jeff Gagne read that well, read the quarterback size, read Wigmore's size really well on that one, just unable to haul it in. And you saw the ball was in Gagne's hands. It just bricked it.
Vultures come out here on second down with a split back formation in the backfield and two tight ends to the left. 4-3 look from the London Knights. Wigmore back to pass, looking far side. He's going to find Ivory Irvin for the nice completion, get him about 7 yards before being hit by Rain Rie on that far sideline.
And now faced another 3rd and short situation. If you're London, you definitely want to sit back for this because they've been burned twice on long passes, even in 3rd and short situations. They better watch out.
Open playbook. Let's see what they run with here. Heavy formation. Offset I. Two tight ends toward the near side. Wigmore looking far side for Irvin. And they're going to say that he was out of bounds, incomplete. And that's a huge sigh of relief from the London Knights.
Absolutely. Sigh of relief. Able to give their ball back. Give Pickler another chance to even up the score. And Tyler, that's a kind of defense that you want to hold, you want to sustain versus Baltimore. Just coverage. There wasn't much pressure in front, but make sure the receivers don't run their routes as well as they could.
On comes Pablo Gates on to punt this one away. He stands about his 23-yard line. Pressure coming, able to find a way to get rid of the punt. Saren Storm calls for a fair catch at the 29 and hauls it in. And on comes Pickler and company. Had that big touchdown pass to Mike St. Green last time out. They're going to need to get back in this game. Maybe another couple of nice passing plays to continue the momentum. Yeah, barely seen Robert Merrill on the field today. Indeed, he's on the sideline again as they come out with 4 wide and Pickler under center. Back to pass looking near side for Mike St. Green, and that's another catch for St. Green, making his 3rd on the ball game. Actually, no, they're going to say he was out of bounds. A little bit too far there, so says the line judge.
Interesting. But again, we see them go back to the plays that they're comfortable with, those short passes to Mike St. Green. Again, those connections that Pickler likes to make those short passes, cut down the 2nd and 10 for a very short first down conversion, make it more manageable for them. And now they're going to try it again, potentially in this one.
5-step drop from Pickler. Pressure coming from off the edge, and it's his second pick of the ball game. And he's got a convoy near that far sideline and taken down at the original line of scrimmage. It's another pick for these Vultures, and it's Austin Brigham with his 2nd on the day.
Holy crap, this Baltimore defense is playing out of their mind. Brigham had 3 interceptions coming into this game. That's already his 2nd. Insane.
If you're looking at the drive summary here, Mark, it's been pick, touchdown, pick for the London Knights, and maybe that's some good news. Maybe they'll come out and throw another touchdown pass next time out. But here come the Vultures again. Pass to your side, and that one's nearly picked. A jumping Tony Roberto nearly comes away with it.
A side effect of that interception from the previous drive by Baltimore is that they always put the Baltimore offense to start in a very good situation. Even in the previous interception, they started at the London red zone. So is that dynamic between their defense, giving their offense a very good starting position, is what's fueling this great offense.
Goal line offense on the field. 9 men in the box for London to counter. And off Hazard. He's met in the backfield, but is able to fight his way back to the original line of scrimmage. No gain.
Hazard still struggling to put up a large amount of numbers for his rushing of the season. He has been utilized a lot as well in their passing game, 34 receptions for the season, but only 330 yards and 52 carries.
just a couple less than Bill Cherry, the fullback over in St. Louis. Wigmore, deep bomb, far side, cut, touchdown. 3 for 3 for Jack Wigmore. And it's Mac Chima. He's gotten everybody involved today.
And he's got Mac Chima for his second one tonight. Holy crap, Mac Chima's just climbing up the ladder of TDs in the season.
Came in leading the team with 6, and that made him 6th in the SFL this season. Now with 8 total, he is just climbing those rankings. And now the Baltimore Vultures, they strike on yet another turnover, make this 13, maybe 14 points off of turnovers in this first quarter alone. Tarkington snap spot, kick is up, and it is good, and it's a 21-7. We're just about to hit the midway point of the first quarter here, Mark.
I was going to say, if I look at this scoreboard, I would have thought it was about to be the end of the first half, but no, it's only the half of the first quarter.
This is the pace we're going to keep up throughout the entire game. We might hit 100 combined points at this rate. Tarkington on to send this one down the field to Saren Storm. Waits at his own end zone and receives it. Starts his return, trying to angle to the far side. He gets nothing doing, down to the 22. And out comes the London Knights offense. 2 picks for Johnny Pickler. Only threw 1 a week ago in the loss to Louisiana, his former club, looking to make amends here on this drive. First and 10 from their 22 with 5 minutes and 44 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Pickler's back to pass, looking over the middle into coverage, and then another pick, a third of the day for the London Knights, and it's Giovanni Bolt, and again the Vultures will start in excellent field position.
I mean, and in every single drive that London threw an interception, it was always 2 plays or less. This time it only took them 1 play.
This is just incredible. This Baltimore team, you can't even say it's the offense or the defense, because this entire team is just playing like they are the number 1 team in the league. The unbeaten domination Goliaths. Offset eye behind Wigmore. It'll be a handoff to the fullback. T-Roy Gaines gets maybe a yard, and because we've seen so much of this defense, we're going to see, some maybe lofty numbers for tackles from this linebacking core.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Another side effect of that, though, is that they wear out a lot quicker because they're on the field so much that Baltimore might just keep expanding their lead.
Our eye set, the run with Hazard to the far side, gets a block, shimmy shakes a man, has a lane, 10, 5, and he fights his way into the end zone. What a run from the rookie, and Baltimore continue to pour it on.
Jimmy Magic is right here. He breaks a tackle and just powers through for the last few yards. His touchdown will not be denied. What do you mean I'm not making a lot of yards this season? I'll make a lot of yards on that play. He scores a touchdown. He puts them up to 20, potentially 28-7, and everything is just going Baltimore.
I got to give a shout out to Shan Varner and Mark Chisholm in the stats truck. They've had to do already. This is the 9th drive of the football game, the 4th touchdown in this first quarter. It's another short drive, 2 plays, 36 yards, culminating with that 35-yard scamper by Jimmy Hazard, and Shark Tarkington puts it through 28-7 with 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Holy crap, you get the number of plays we've had in this game. I don't think there's just so few. We've had, so this drive, 2 plays. The last drive that ended in interception for London, 1 play. The drive before that, 3 plays before Baltimore had a touchdown. And then the drive before that, which was another London interception, 2 plays. So these teams, the ball just keeps going back and forth, Tyler. It doesn't want to stay with one team for long.
No, it's either it's going in the other hands, the other team, or it's going to be a touchdown for Baltimore. And Tony Phillips, one of the tight ends for London, is coming off the field as He's in there on coverage and goes down with an injury. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Well, kudos for the tight end. He looks like he maybe pulled a hamstring or something, but then gets right back up and lays down a block. So great toughness from the tight end. So a new set of downs for Pickler and company, and anything positive for these London Knights would be a welcome change of pace. Deep drop from Pickler, looking underneath. He finds his man, that's Saren Storm, for a pickup of 3, and it's positive yardage, which will be very helpful for London. But let's get you introduced to the Baltimore Vultures, even though we probably introduced you to the entire secondary on all those picks. Nate Brown, Al Walker, Tucker Lewis, and Suron Yates are the defensive linemen, with Frank Smith, Keenan Samuels, and Alvin Mack at linebacker. Marvin Himes, Ben Stackenpaper, and Austin Brigham are the corners, with Troy Loshaw and Giovanni Bolt at the safety spots. Pickler, looking far side, finds Mike St. Green, and St. Green takes it across the midfield stripe and down to the Baltimore 46.
And you can see right there, with 64 yards and 3 catches, Mike St. Green, Pickler's favorite receiver so far tonight, despite that being not the case usually this season. But again, great effort by Mike St. Green. If they keep playing this well, this connection, I don't want to see Pickler throwing in coverage like he did the past 3 drives, and they should be fine. They should keep moving the ball forward.
Offset single back, Pickler to throw again. Pressure coming to the outside. He's going to be wrapped up and thrown to the turf. It's a loss of 6 on the sack. It's Al Walker, the defensive end, with a sack.
I mean, you saw right there, just this amount of pressure. 3 guys. 3 of the 4 defensive linemen in Pickler's face. Who wouldn't flinch at that?
Just only the second sack of the first quarter. First one for Al Walker on the day. Suron Yates had one right at the beginning of the football game, and now the London Knights are back on their own side of the 50. Mike St. Green with the reception near side. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage before being run over by Ben Stackenpaper.
This is an interesting situation. The first time ever that London, this game, is facing a third down situation. And who are they going to go to? They've had success throwing to Mike St. Green. They might throw it to him again. And Saren Storm had the huge reception as well.
5 wideouts again for the Knights. Pickler tries to get around Al Walker and has to throw it wobbly, and he tried to find Vin Calia, but it falls incomplete. 4th down, and on comes the punting unit.
Yeah, this defensive front just they contribute so much to the passing defense as well. Because when you pressure your opposing quarterback that much, you lower so much of their passing completion percentage, you lower the amount of time they have to make a decision, and overall just lowering their effectiveness on the field.
Well, maybe one positive for London is they didn't throw an interception on that last drive. They do punt it away. That's Bono Wilkinson, and Giovanni Bolt tries to make something happen. He gets his way out to the far side of the field and down to the 21, and on come the Baltimore offense. Pretty quick start, but I think things are starting to calm down here, Mark.
Yep, starting to calm down, but for whose benefit? Baltimore, in a calm situation, was able to show us a 7-play drive in the very first drive for a touchdown.
See if they can replicate that here. Wigmore over the middle, deflected away by the defenders. It's Tony Roberto and another deflection as we get an update from another one of his teammates. The tight end that went down, Tony Roberto, he might come, or excuse me, that's going to be for the tight ends. He might be coming back here later in the ball game.
All right. 2nd and 10 from 22 yards.
Second and 10 now for the Vultures. Offset single back look in the direction of the 2 tight ends near side of the field. Wigmore looks for Hazard out of the backfield. He'll get him, and as Hazard turns the corner, he's met by a couple of Knights. Only a pickup of 2 on the swing pass.
And it looked like that was one of the few plays that London was prepared for, the swing pass to Hazard. We know that Hazard has been used a lot in those kind of swing pass situations by Baltimore, and has been one of the most amount of situations that he generates yards in.
More in the gun. Hazard to his right. It's back to pass, looking far down the field to the far side, and for one of the few times today, it's knocked out of the sky, and it's Brandon Ewing who got burned on one of the previous touchdown plays. He makes up for it with a crucial third down deflection, and on comes the punting unit for Baltimore.
And that was definitely a very crucial deflection, Tyler, because if that was a completion, there was nobody left on the backfield. It looked like wide open green for another touchdown. But just being a ball hawk at that point in time really saved London 7 points.
Here comes Pablo Gates to punt this one away. Saren Storm waits on his side of the field. Get his return started from about the 40. Angling it near side, back to midfield before being taken down. And Art Vandally wondering here on the For the Fans chat is, how is this score so lopsided? Well, Pickler has already thrown 3 interceptions, and all 3 interceptions have turned into short drives for Baltimore that ended up in touchdowns. Baltimore has 21 points off of turnovers today.
First and 10 from 49 yards.
Now Pickler starting in the best field position that he's had all game at midfield. Back to pass, a swing pass near side for Robert Hill. This time calling his name today, but he runs out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage.
And this is the Robert Merrill weapon that London, especially Johnny Pickler, likes to use as well. Those swing passes to Merrill. We don't see Merrill a lot on the rushing game. We see him a lot on those swing passes. Over 60 receptions this season. 68 to be exact, for 319 reception yards. So he is productive on that end.
There goes into the gun now after a no gain on first down. Back to pass, looking near side. That's nearly a one-handed snag by Saren Storm, but the hit knocks the ball free, incomplete.
Yeah, looked like a very athletic play right there, but better defense with 4 people in coverage, 4 people to make the hit. Ball comes loose, and it's nothing going for London in that play.
This is already the 6th drive of the football game for London. Pickler, 4 wideouts, trips to the right. It's back to throw. Fires far side. That's hauled in by Vincalia, and he fumbles the football. And they're going to say the ball rolled beyond the first down marker, and it'll be a first down for London.
Okay.
Very interesting turn of events. I wonder if Calia fumbled the football on purpose just to make that happen. Maybe going a little bit of bowling or something like that, eh, Mark?
Probably. It was a very calculated fumble if that's the case.
London now on the 39-yard line of Baltimore. He takes a quick drop. It's a quick pass near side for Merrill. Turns upfield, has a lot of room to run, and gets close to the marker, down just short at the 30-yard line.
That's why that's one of their favorite plays, is because the amount of speed that Merrill can generate after the catch allows him to get extra yards when the ball gets to him.
Bunch set, far side, and Pickler remains in the gun here on 2nd and short. Pickler is going to look deep down the field into traffic, and that's nearly picked up for the 3rd time, alone by Austin Brigham.
That was about to be Brigham's 3rd one in this game, but crazy just the amount of space that the secondary covers. 1 minute they're not covering you, the next they just deflect the pass right here, and just great overall coverage. I guess you gotta say great prep by the Baltimore defense, especially the defensive coaches, the defensive coordinator. That's the week by week thing that Baltimore comes in. They're just very well prepared. They're not gonna let you score a lot of them.
Just over a minute remaining in the first quarter. The lopsided scoreline already. 5 wide here for London. Pressure coming from the right. Pickler fires over the middle to a wide open receiver, and it's down to the 19. That's going to be Vincalia, and they move the sticks on 3rd down. And they've done so far so good here on 3rd downs today here. Not too many of them, though, Mark.
Not too many of them, because they never get to 3rd down situations. Ball has been turned over more than they've had third downs. But you're right, they were pretty good so far in third downs.
And off near side from Merrill, his first run of the game, all the way late on in this first quarter, goes nowhere.
And that's probably why we don't see him run so much, is that their front line not able to give him a lot of space, even in previous games, just unable to open up holes for Robert Merrill. We've seen him with his speed, but without holes to run through, he can't make use of it much.
They're back to pass again, looking far side. That's caught by Mike St. Green, and he'll be taken down after a pickup of 6. It'll be third down when we come back to Baltimore, Maryland. It's the hometown Vultures with a 21-point lead over the London Knights. You're watching the SFL, presented by APM Music on For the Fans. Welcome all to Baltimore, Maryland. I'm Tyler Falk. He's Mark Lopez. As the Knights look to chip away at this lead, Pickler finds Mike St. Green on the far side, who just barely gets the ball across the sticks. That'll move the chains. It'll be first and goal for the 9.
That's another third down completion or third down conversion for them. And again, London, pretty solid when they get to those third down situations, but they have to get there. Now in the red zone of Baltimore, since the first time they scored, and they got to convert on this to not make this game go out of hand.
Try out the field 4 wide again here for the Knights, trying to throw it into the end zone. Pickler looks near side. That's hauled in by Vincalia, and it's going to be down at the 3-yard line. And one of the things we were talking about during the break here, Mark, is if you want to take pressure off of Johnny Pickler, you have to get Robert Merrill involved on the ground a lot more.
Absolutely. We've only seen him rush once so far to no fruit. And that's probably one reason why we're not seeing him much as well. But you're right. They got to take the pressure off of him.
From the 3, Pickler looks into the end zone, finds Mike St. Green, and that's Mike St. Green's second touchdown of the ball game. And they cut the deficit to 15, pending 14 with the extra point.
That was I think that was a crossing route. They just bottled up the defenders on the line, and Mike St. Green able to find a spot where he was open. And just enough for a touchdown. So great overall play, great overall drive for London. That was the kind of drives they were hoping to have, minus the interceptions. If those interceptions did not end up that way, Tyler, I think this would have been a different climate of a game.
Longfellow on to attempt the extra point. Snap spot, kick is up, and it is good. And indeed, it is a 14-point advantage for Baltimore. Visit the SFL League website at simulationfl.net for info on how to create a player, to join our community, the league, and the teams that play in it, and a comprehensive history of the SFL. It's over 1,500 games, and it's thousands of players who have hit the virtual field. The Simulation Football League, 17 seasons strong. Nick Longfellow boots it away down for Giovanni Bolt. The dangerous return man gets a block and spins away from a tackler at the 28 and is finally brought down at the 31-yard line. It was a great first quarter for these Vultures here, Mark. They led going into the second quarter up by 21. Now they're looking to get that lead back out to 21.
And the main reason was that they were given such short positions by their defense because of those interceptions, but in only one of two of their starting positions from their side of the field, they've only converted in one of those.
Bigmore looking over the middle, and it's incomplete. And that's something we've seen quite often on first downs from these London Knights. They're able to get their mitts on it as Jeff Gagne picks up another deflection.
Yep, and deflections like that by Gagne just being all over the field. Gagne has to be a very pivotal player for this defense if they want to keep Baltimore back in their side of the field.
I formation now for the Vultures. Handoff has it up the middle. He had the nice 35-yard scamper for a touchdown late on in the first quarter. This time only able to find his way up for a couple before being brought down by Tony Roberto.
Tony Roberto and Jeff Gagne, the two linebackers. Let's include Telemax Scarborough. Those are the guys who have to be important, who have to play big in the inside of this match, in the inside of the field especially.
4 wideouts, 3 to the left, 1 to the right as Wigmore's back to pass, looking over the middle. It's tipped up in the air and falls incomplete. Great defense from Anthony Wild, the journeyman free safety, and they'll force the Vultures to punt.
And I believe that would be 2 punts in a row now for Baltimore. That's correct. Yes, 2 punts in a row for them. So London able to hold them and to another punt, and that's the kind of defense they want to show up with. Kind of defense to keep fueling their offense.
Saren Storm awaits the punt from Pablo Gates. As the punt's away, Saren Storm is going to go ahead and try to make a return out of it. He gets nowhere, down to the 33, and London's going to need another touchdown drive like they had last time out.
Yep, and Pickler back on the field. Now will the Baltimore defense show different looks this time? Try to prevent Pickler from making another touchdown drive as he did in the previous one. We shall see. But Pickler looking good in the last one.
14 of 21 coming into the drive. Deep drop from Pickler. Looks for an out route to the far side. That's hauled in. Good grab from Robert Merrill playing in the wide receiving spot, and it picks up 9.
And we know Robert Merrill used to be a wide receiver of, back then. So the route running is ingrained in him. He knows which routes to run. Being utilized that way, he's also lethal in the receiving position.
He'll line up behind his quarterback this time in a single back bunch look. He'll get the call on only his second carry of the game, and it pays dividends. He's able to move the chains and pick up the first down for the Knights.
Credit to the outside lineman as well. Just blocking enough, sealing the edge enough to make him grab those extra yards for a first down.
This time he'll be offset to the left side along with the 2 tight ends as one of the defensive linemen for Baltimore jump off sides. Merrill makes a nice spin move to gain extra yardage. Make it 9 pending the penalty. I would guess they would take the nice shifty moving Robert Merrill yards compared to these penalty yards.
I would too, because it puts them at 2nd and 1, which is still favorable than 1st and 5, I think.
That's exactly what they do, so it'll be 2nd and 1 coming up here now for the Knights. Courtesy of Jack's data, the spreads. Baltimore nearly 2 touchdown favorites, and that's how much they lead by right now. And we're looking at getting over 60 points combined between the two clubs, and we're well on pace for that. Pickler in the gun by himself, 5 wide. Pressure coming from up the middle, just does get it away, and he throws his
again.
4th interception of the ball game. Alvin Mack, the linebacker, picks it up. 4 picks for Johnny Pickler.
Not the way you want to go about this game, and especially against a 14-point lead. They turn it over again. On the bright side, Tyler, this is probably not as close to their end zone as the first 3 interceptions were. So Baltimore has got to work for this one even more than usual. But this is Baltimore, and we feel like they can work for it.
Wigmore looks to throw, tries to dump it off underneath, and it is incomplete. And as we go ahead, there's another game going on the SFL Twitch channel between Mexico City and Jacksonville. Cam and Mike have a game update for us.
Thanks, Tyler. Gerard Brody got a game ball last week, and he's balling already today, Mike.
Yeah, Mexico City already up 3-0, and Ronnie Watson is fortunate enough to pick up the fumble recovery. Mexico driving again early in the first.
Brody forced it, 3-0. Back to Tyler and Mark.
Hey, Cam, Wigmore back to pass here on second down. Looks far side. This time is able to find his receiver for a pickup of about 5 yards. That's Ivory Irvin. It'll be 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, good play right there. The defense, again, got to have to hold on for this 3rd and 5 situation. Twice we've seen them hold on in 3rd down against Baltimore. Baltimore, though, a lot of weapons. They got to use one of them.
Drop for Wigmore. Finds Ivory Irvin near side. Picks up the 1st down. A few more. Down to the London 41.
Ivory Irvin, very good, very potent in this short passing game for Wigmore. Caught the ball for 4 times now, averaging 6 yards per reception. So you can see just how much he has been utilized in those short passing situations.
Wigmore now under center. Hazard and 2 tight ends to the right. Looking near side. That's hit up in the air and incomplete. And Tony Roberto with another deflection make it 3 on the day for him.
Yep, Tony Roberto got to play out of his mind. Keep playing as he is. He is the one nuisance against Jack Wigmore's offense right now.
2nd and 10.
Now here on 2nd down. Wigmore under center. Bunch set to the left. Moore takes a 5-step drop and looks for Ivory Irvin, who's wide open the far side. And that's an easy pitch and catch from Wigmore to Irvin. And they're just on the edge of the red zone.
What a called play, and no defender for daylight or against Irvin, and he run the route. He made the London defense pay, because as soon as they rubbed against the defender, there was no one else in the backfield. So wide open, Wigmore to Irvin, easy connection.
Now from the 20-yard line, the Vultures come out in the power I. 4-3 look from London. Wigmore to throw. Looking for Hazard near side. He's got him. He turns up field and tries to make a couple more men miss, but is tackled by Tony Roberto after a pickup of 8 yards.
Boy, oh boy, they're knocking on the door. Now they're in the 12-yard line. We've seen this story. We've seen it happen 3 times already in this position. Will it happen again, London? How will they answer?
London needs someone to step up here in the clutch. Wigmore to throw again, looking into the end zone, and that was close to being pass interference as Wigmore was looking for Matt Chima. Incomplete, no flag.
Yeah, in this David Goliath matchup, London has got to pray to the forces that be, not make this a touchdown. They gotta hold on and force only a field goal.
Now on 3rd and short. Vultures again come out here in the power I. 8 men in the box for London trying to stop the run. Wigmore to throw. Finds Hazard near side. Hazard can't get away from the tackle. Great tackle there from the corner But I was going to say Brandon Ewing was slow to get up and indeed does eventually hop to his feet. And that's a good third down stop for London. And that'll bring on Shark Tarkington to try and tack on 3 points.
A great read on the play there as well, Tyler. Just put a corner out there to stop the swing pass and very quick on the tackle. So just overall, they allowed too much yardage in this drive, but they'll settle for 3 for sure.
Kick is up and good from Shark Tarkington. He's a perfect 19 of 19 now on the season, and it's a 17-point lead for Baltimore. So it's a good drive there for the London Knights defense just to hold Baltimore to only 3 points, as they'll have another chance here as we approach the midway point here in the second quarter to tack on a few more points onto the board, and hopefully Pickler doesn't throw his 5th interception on this following drive. Tarkington boots. And here comes Saren Storm from his own end zone, as the return will net positive down to the 23-yard line, and on come the London Knights offense, as it's just been a day to forget already for Johnny Pickler. He does have the 2 touchdowns, but he's thrown 4 interceptions alone in this first half. They need to be more consistent, and I think, and I think you would agree, Mark, they need to get Robert Merrill involved more on the ground and take some pressure off Johnny Pickler.
Absolutely.
Pickler under center with a bunch set to his right. It will be a handoff for Merrill up the middle. Makes a spin move, makes a man miss, and is going to get close to first down yardage. Down a yard shy of the 32. And he's slow to get up, but eventually does. But that's exactly what you need if you're London.
Absolutely. That's the kind of running that Robert Merrill can generate for this offense. And we've seen this in their huge win against Jacksonville in week 4. Their first win against Jacksonville, they utilized Merrill for 110 rushing yards, but it seems like they're not going to him this time again.
Pickler looks over the middle. That's a nice grab on Vin Calia, and it's going to be a first down to their own 39-yard line. Tackle made by Giovanni Volt.
The other benefit, Tyler, that we've talked about of having Robert Merrill, giving him the ball more, is that if Pickler isn't throwing the ball as much, then that's less of an opportunity for the defense to take the ball away from him. He has thrown not much yet this game, and they've taken it away 4 times, so Robert Merrill definitely can ease that load.
Stop route underneath. That's hauled in, but immediately sworn by the Vultures is Saren Storm, but it's a pickup of 6 on the first down passing play.
This is very reminiscent of the drive, their second scoring drive, where they go for short passes in the middle, or the one where Robert Merrill run in the middle for a few yards, just keep the ball rolling slowly but surely. Don't turn it over.
5 wide receivers set for London. Pass over the middle. It's going to be knocked aside by Alvin Mack. He was looking for a second interception today.
Yeah, the coverage is just crazy. Whenever Pickler makes a throw, the landing point of that ball seems to have more red uniforms than white uniforms.
See if that changes here on third down, as the defense will play bump coverage with all 3 wide receivers. Pickler will find Robert Merrill near side of the swing pass. He turns upfield and crosses midfield into Baltimore territory, and crucially for London, it's another first down.
And the one of the greater points so far for this offense run by Pickler is their third down conversion. They are now 4 of 5. This will be their 4th third down conversion, which is good for 80%. That's the bright point so far, and it shows how they can keep the ball moving forward if they don't give it away.
Now it's 4 wide receivers, 4-3 look. That's a little bit of a disadvantage for this Baltimore defense. London looks far side. That's going to be caught by Mike St. Green for a good game, and we send it back to SFL headquarters, where Cam and Mike have another game update from Mexico City.
Thank you, Tyler. All Aztecs down south of the border.
Yeah, Cam. Nate Ritter's out. Jacob McCall in. Matt Wilson finds him in the end zone with a dart. Mexico City up big in first quarter.
Kings' 3-game win streak is in jeopardy. Back to Tyler.
Pickler looking over the middle. That's a set play we've seen a couple of times now today as Vincalia gets another reception and down to the 21 as we see yet another 4-5 wide receiver set from this London Knights offense.
Yeah, and again, this cut to the middle by Vincalia, he keeps finding these sore spots, and those are the kind of plays that end up in their third down conversions earlier in this game. Vincalia, a very reliable receiver for Pickler.
A 4 wide receiver look now. They'll bring in Robert Merrill and Benji Matson back into the ball game with 3 wideouts, 1 tight end, 1 halfback. Pickler lobs it over the middle. That's nearly picked up by Frank Smith, and Pickler is going to be happy to have that one back in his pocket.
Oh man, London fans are probably off their seats after that play. That almost looked like an interception, Tyler. It was in the defender's hands until it wasn't. You're right. Pickler's just happy that ball's coming back his way. They gotta draw up a different one.
3-2 nickel dime set on the field for Baltimore. Pickler looks near side on the out route. He'll find his man Vincalia for a good pick of about 4, and it'll be 3rd and 6 from the 17.
Now the third down situation. London, will they pull off another third down conversion, or will Baltimore get a stop? If I'm London, I still want to get 7. Cut this lead down to 10. That will be much more manageable going into the half.
5 wide receiver set, 3 to the right, 2 to the left for Pickler. Back to pass, pressure coming, spins up in the pocket and is thrown to the turf for the 3rd sack of the day for this Baltimore Vulture defense.
I mean, you have such a talented front core for Baltimore, and Pickler only sacked about 15 times this season, and already this game has 3 sacks. So incredible front defense by Baltimore.
We've reached the 2-minute warning here in Vulture's Field as the London Knights will try to tack on 3 points when we come back. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on For the Fans. London 14, Baltimore 31, 2 minutes ago here in the first half. I'm Tyler Falk alongside Mark Lopez here in the booth. As on comes Peter McLongfellow to try and chop into that lead with a 3-point field goal. Snap spot, kick is up, and it is good for 3, and the lead is back to 14. Coming up on the 8 p.m. Music Halftime Report, Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green break down the first half of the Knights and Vultures, preview the Week 9 slate as the focus turns to the postseason chase, and provide an update on the action going on in Mexico between the Kings and the Aztecs. It's all coming up on the 8 p.m. Music Halftime Report. And McLongfellow boots it down to Giovanni Bolt, who stands near his own 15-yard line. Has a few blockers, angles on the far side, steps on his man, and he's loose, has a punter to beat. He got him! Here goes Giovanni Bolt to end out the first half.
Oh my goodness!
Tiptoe into the end zone. My goodness, the showboatness of Baltimore and Giovanni Bolt.
Oh my God, but we've always known that he could do this, but those last few tiptoes, man, the level of disrespect that he has, I mean, maybe it's not disrespect and more of self-confidence, because you pull one out like this, and boy, incredible.
I mean, if you're 7-0 and you're approaching the 2/3 mark of the season, you guys are still blowing out teams like this. I mean, you can showboat all you want, in my opinion, and as our stat struck is just blowing up, Mark Chisholm, the stat struck, says the disrespect and rest in peace number 25, that being Jimmy Hazard out in coverage. Not Jimmy Hazard, excuse me, that being Zach Goodman for London out in coverage, as Tarkington snap spot kick is up and it's good, and it's back out to a 21-point advantage for these Vultures.
Oh man, boy, Pickler hadn't had much time to rest, and he's back on the field. And he's back on the field to see more points on the opposing team. Oh boy, his work's cut out for him.
And Tarkington boots it down the field as Saren Storm will try and replicate what Giovanni Bolt did. Now to the 20, tried to shimmy shake his way upfield, but is taken down by Nate Simmons at the 21. And now on comes the London Knights offense once more as they try to put together a 1-minute 39-yard drill drive.
Well, we've seen them score in under a minute. Their very first score was under a minute. They definitely have the ability to do so.
Empty backfield, Pickler under center, 4 wide receivers. Deep drop from Pickler, looking deep over the middle, and it's deflected by Giovanni Bolt, trying to make 2 spectacular plays on back-to-back plays.
Giovanni Bolt, the star defender for Baltimore, showing up. And a great defensive play, great coverage as well, sticking to his man, Benji Matson, not allowing any much space. All you got to do is put your hands up if you're that close to the receiver, and he makes a play. Great stop.
Pickler alone in the gun again. 3 wideouts, 2 tight ends. Back to pass, pressure coming, able to find a man who takes a whopper of a hit. My goodness, how'd he hold on to that? Tony Phillips, the man who got injured with the huge grab.
Well, he was only injured with a cramp, not anything, or with a leg cramp, not anything with his upper body, and he makes it. What a play.
Pickler to throw again, looking deep, near side, and it's picked off. Oh my goodness, and it's Austin Brigham, his 3rd pick of the day. Pickler, I'm going to beg for the London fans, please stop throwing dangerous balls. You're giving too many away to Baltimore.
Oh no, yeah, you're absolutely correct, and that was slightly underthrown as well. Probably miscommunication, because the receiver wasn't even looking at the ball by the time the ball landed on the defender's hands, on Brigham's hands. But not a good look for London.
His 5th interception of the first half, as here comes the Baltimore Vultures. Goal line set, nearly 10 men in the box for London. Handoff Hazard. He goes near side and is taken down after a gain of 4. They're going to rush the line. This might be the wrong formation to do it here at Baltimore. 50 seconds remaining here in the half. Another handoff to Hazard. He gets away from one, but can't get away from two, and is taken down at the line of scrimmage, and they'll have to burn a timeout and get out of the goal line set.
Still seems like 46 seconds might be still a lot of time for Baltimore, don't you think, Tyler?
I would think they have plenty of time, have 2 timeouts remaining, and plenty of field to work with. They don't have to go too far now to get into Tarkington's range, but you would think maybe getting inside that 35 would help out a little bit more, because right now you're looking at a 55-yard field goal attempt from right at this spot. Wigmore alone in the gun, bunch set far side. Pass near side is outside the reach of a diving receiver, that being Gus Woods, and it falls innocently to the turf. 4th down coming.
This will be a tough field goal if they attempt it. They might end up punting this away. Boy, that was a quick series of plays. It's suddenly 4th down and only a few seconds has passed.
This for an extremely long attempt for Shark Tarkington. This might break his perfect record. 55 yards from the left hash. Is the wind with him? Snap, spot, kick is on its way, and it's about 5 yards short as all the hype goes for naught, and that's going to ruin the perfect season for Shark Tarkington.
Still a good attempt. That was still on target. Perhaps the wind was not on his back. Perhaps the 5 extra yards could have served him well. Remember, they lined up in a no-huddle offense and in a bad position, bad formation. But now we go back to London. They still have their 2 timeouts, or their 3 timeouts, and 37 seconds.
We're in the gun, bunch set near side. Back to pass, pressure coming. He finds the out route near side. That's Mike St. Green with the catch, and he's down to the Baltimore 42 before they take a timeout.
That's very close to the century mark for Mike St. Green. He already had 88 in this game. If that would have been for 12 more yards, he would have... Yeah, it would have been the century mark if that was for 12 yards.
How much they do indeed give Mike St. Green on the reception later on, as they're now sitting 1st and 10 from the Baltimore 42. And I think they need to get inside the 30 if they want to be in Peter McLongfellow's range. Need to convert here. Need to get another 1st down. Pickler steps up in the pocket. Fires near side. It's a one-handed snag from Vin Callie on the sideline. What a good catch from Vin Callie, eh, Mark?
Oh yeah, Vin Callie. We've seen him so far tonight showing off those one-handed catches. There were a couple one-handed catches where he got hit and the ball left his hand, so he just has that athletic capacity.
Safety creeps up on the near side for Baltimore. Pickler back to pass, launches one deep down the middle of the field, and it's knocked away. Great defense by Troy Loshaw, the strong safety.
Baltimore Vultures, more like the Baltimore Bull Hawks, because they are just all over the place, deflecting the ball against London. But still, 3rd and 5, clock is stopped. Pickler, what is he going to throw? Is he going to throw a miracle or an interception?
I know the Seattle Seahawks at one point had the no-fly zone. The Baltimore Vultures have to wake as the pass over the middle into coverage is caught by Saren Storm and inside the red zone down to the 18. And they'll take a timeout with 19 seconds remaining. Take a look at the pass. That's just Pickler finding a wide open man over the middle, Saren Storm, and the coverage does clamp down rather quickly, but they convert on the 1st down and now have a chance to maybe run another play if they so choose to. Indeed, they'll turn off the offense. We have seen a couple other teams in this spot just go ahead and take the 3 points, but London being a little bit more aggressive than most teams and was going to try and look to maybe punch this one in. 3 wideouts, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Pickler under center. He's back to pass. Deep drop, looking to the end zone. It's deflected up in the air and nearly picked off by at least 3 defenders. He was trying to find Benji Matson, but the coverage was just too great.
Absolutely. The coverage, they know where the pass was going to be. And before even the ball left Pickler's hand, 3 defenders were on the way to the destination. Now left a field goal, Tyler, and potentially 20 to 38, that is still a 4-touchdown lead that they have to climb.
Now, indeed, the London Knights will elect to try a 35-yard field goal from the right hash. Snap spot. Kick is up for McLongfellow, and it is no good, off to the right.
Oh,
So
no.
both kickers miss a field goal, and the score remains that it is 38-17, Baltimore with the lead.
Ouch.
That's one thing we've seen a couple of times now from McLongfellow. He's been okay. He's not one of the better kickers in the SFL, and, well, just a little bit off to the right, and he makes what should have been a 3-point kick go for 0 points, as here come the Baltimore Vultures. Handoff hazard near side, who's met immediately in the backfield by Cam Crosby for another tackle for loss, his second of the ball game, and that will take us to the end of the first half. The Baltimore Vultures have a comfortable margin of victory right now, 38-17, and we're going to send it back to SFL headquarters for the halftime report after this. But you're watching the Simulation Football League presented by 8 p.m. Music on For the Fans.
Welcome to the APM Music Halftime Report. Mike, come on. Come on, get over here.
I'm here.
38-17, Baltimore leads London. It's like getting called for dinner. Come on, let's go. 21-point lead for Baltimore, and the tail of the first half, missed opportunities for London despite giving up 38 points.
Yeah, Cam, missed opportunities. Some of those tip balls and possible pick sixes. I mean, some of those guys need to hang on to those balls, and maybe we're a little bit closer. But one guy I wanted to point out in this first half, Cam, is Giovanni Bolt. A couple of weeks ago, we possibly mentioned him as a defensive player of the year candidate, but we got to start talking about and thinking about league MVP candidate, because right now he's only 2 away from the league record for single season interceptions. As we saw, he had the big kick return. He's just a game changer in so many ways, and he's really made his presence felt in this game. And while Baltimore's taking advantage of every opportunity that's been given to him. And
his teammate holds the record, 15 back in season 9 when he was with the Dallas Roughnecks a long time ago, and That's now the Lone Star franchise. But Troy LaShaw right next to Giovanni Bolt. He knows how to get those records and makes it interesting. 1:23 to go in the first half in Mexico City. I don't think we're going to be getting over there for bonus coverage because Baltimore and London like to throw it all the way around. But it probably won't matter because Mexico City is pummeling Jacksonville 20-3 as they near the first half. Mexico City, like in Atlanta yesterday, like Baltimore today, Queen City, Florida earlier, they are right up in that conversation with championship contenders. They are just owning the Kings today, who have won 3 in a row.
Yeah, Mexico City, they've had a couple of hiccups along the way this season, but, most teams do. But they have totally dominated Jacksonville in this first half. Matt Wilson has been, excellent in this first half. Jason Bartlett with a early touchdown catch, Jacob McCall with a touchdown catch, and no mistakes from Matt Wilson. We saw a big catch and run by Ray Bentley in this game. We hadn't seen much of Phoenix Jones yet, Cam. I don't remember seeing him much in this first half, but the defense has stepped up. Dan Tritz with a couple of sacks, and yeah, they're totally dominating Jacksonville right now.
Lloyd Graham in the twitch.tv/FTF Next Twitch chat says, wow, Mike, you change clothes fast. How do you do it, man?
The snap-ons and snap-offs. I go behind the bench, snap them on, snap them off, and I'm here ready to go for halftime.
Well, we're ready to go after today for Week 9, and we already have the schedule on the APM. We already have the schedule ready for you. 1 second while I get it queued up. But wow, come on, there you go. It's live TV, folks. Here's a look at next Saturday. Now, next week's a little bit interesting. We have no nationally televised broadcast games on Saturday, but we do still have a block of 6 ball games. Mike, I'll let you kind of survey the field, and what are you most looking forward to on Saturday's slate?
Well, I'll tell you what, Cam. Week 9 next week is, it's going to come down to, hey, we're still in it. We still have a chance at the playoffs, or some teams are going to, have to realize, hey, on to season 18. And one matchup that stands out to me right now, win or lose today for London, is that Carolina matchup. Carolina's going to be 4-4. London have some work to do to hopefully get back to 4-4 this week. But that's going to be a key matchup as to say, Carolina, we've taken a step forward. We're clearly in this playoff race. London saying, hey, no, not so fast. We're still a part of this thing. And so, yeah, either way, win or lose today for London, that Carolina-London matchup stands out to me as being a huge matchup next weekend.
A lot of teams petering out. Denver 2-6, Tulsa's 2-5. They play tonight. Fort Worth's 2-5. They play tonight. We'll see how many of those teams are in the mix. That's Saturday. Now let's look at Sunday. And the bigger day of games. We start on Next Level at 2 Eastern. Then we go to FTF at 4 Eastern with bonus coverage of Charleston, Florida, followed by Portland, LA, Lone Star, Arizona. We got some divisional matchups in prime time. Atlanta at Louisiana, Queen City, DC. A full menu next Sunday.
Yeah, Cam, wow, where do you start with this lineup on Sunday? Huge matchups all over the place. Now that Charleston, Florida matchup is going to be huge next weekend. Portland and LA 5-3, battling for the top of the Pacific Division, and then look at Atlanta and Louisiana, who's they've come out of nowhere, came back from losing their first 3 games of the season. Now they're back at 500, and they're looking to get at Atlanta next weekend and making that East Division a battle to the end. So man, it's huge matchups all over this calendar for next Sunday, and I can't wait till we get there.
Jacksonville just had to settle for a field goal. It'll be 20-6 more than likely going into that half. Here in Baltimore, it is 38-17. Vultures lead the Knights, but London does get the ball to start the second half. Will they give themselves a chance for a fourth quarter comeback? We will find out after this break. This has been the APM Music Halftime Report, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Vultures Field here in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm Tyler Falk alongside Mark Lopez with Shan Barnard and Mark Chisholm in the Stats truck. And of course, the man who just helped out Mike St. Green with the fantastic halftime coverage, Cameron Irvine, is our producer. Thank you all for joining us here on this Sunday afternoon as we get ready to go here in the second half of action as Saren Storm will start his return. He gets it out to the 24. And the biggest thing we were talking about, Mark, in between the break was these London Knights have a mountain to climb.
Absolutely. And things might not look too good for them because coming into halftime, the momentum was definitely not on their side with a missed field goal and other misfortunes.
First play of the second half will be a swing pass down for Robert Merrill on the near side. He swings out of a couple, gets a block, and he's loose down the near sideline. He'll cross the 50 into the Baltimore territory at the 47. And to quote, the SFL Bob Ross, Stephen Hacker, you need a happy little pass here and a happy little pass there.
Perhaps the kind of wind beneath your wings that London needed right here. Robert Merrill able to break 2 tackles right there. And again, it's speed. Robert Merrill's speed in the open field. If you give him the open space, he takes it. And that time, he made the open field himself with the broken tackles and made it.
Now beyond the 50-yard mark for receiving is Robert Merrill, sitting around 58 yards receiving. Pickler in the gun, 4 wideouts. He's back to pass, looks far side to a wide-open Vin Calia for his first reception of the half as we take a look at the numbers between the two quarterbacks. Pickler definitely has the yards, but those 5 interceptions loom large over the QB in London.
Absolutely, and from those interceptions, at least 21 points scored by Baltimore. So definitely what has caused the main damage right there.
Ace formation for the London Knights here on second down. Pickler looks far side. It's another grab by Calia. And it's another good little gain of about 3 yards. Moves him closer to the first down marker.
Yep. They probably looked at the previous half, saw the interceptions as a result of deep bombs. So now they're trying to clean it up with these short passes and short but sure routes.
Third and short now for the Knights. Pickler alone in the gun. 2 tight ends and 3 wide receivers. Pickler looks over the middle, finds Robert Merrill, who is near the tight end spot. That's going to be good enough for a first down yardage as Tucker Lewis. This might be maybe a break for London, but unfortunate for Baltimore as the defensive end falls to the turf.
You're right. Tucker Lewis, one of the 4 defensive front that has been providing so much pressure, but right there looks like it could be something with hopefully not a concussion, but definitely some damage done to him.
Get you an update on that as soon as we can. But meanwhile, the Knights continue their march now from the 29 of Baltimore. New set of downs. 3 wide receivers. Robert Merrill off to the left behind Pickler. Pressure coming. He does get the pass away before getting hit as the ball will fall incomplete. And we'll shoot it back to Mexico City where Cam and Mike have another game break for us.
Thank you, Tyler. Just before the half, just when you thought Jacksonville was coming back, Mike.
Yeah, Cam, I was asking where was Phoenix Jones. He said, hey, MSG, I'm right here. He goes off tackle for a big touchdown run, and Mexico City pouring it on Jacksonville right before the half.
Seals it at the end. Back to Baltimore.
That's the second time this season I've seen Phoenix Jones make a last half, end of the half little run like that as Pickler nearly has pick number 6 as Frank Smith is looking for his first pick of the season.
Yep, the question isn't if Pickler will throw, but how many more given the pace of this game and how this defense has been playing.
It's more or less not a matter of if, but when will Pickler throw his next interception, sadly. 4 wide receiver set, bunched to the near side are 3 of them. Pickler to throw. Baltimore send 4 to the far side. Pickler lofts one and it's caught near side. That's a good catch by Rocco McLovin, wide receiver, 4-string wide receiver, and London move the chains.
Yeah, you're right. That's a great pass right there and great play. Great pass despite the pressure and more often than not, we saw with pressure in Pickler's face, it didn't end well. But on that one, he was able to convert on the first down once again. And again, now they're inching closer as they have multiple times in the first half. But can they convert or will they throw it away?
Inside the red zone, one of the offensive
What
linemen is
is
turned
this?
around completely. That's an unforced error, and it's another sack for Al Walker, his third of the ball game.
The game awareness of the lineman looking at his quarterback, turning his back to the defender. Oh no, that wasted a good opportunity, and this should set them back so much. Oh boy.
Butch Menner has got to be shaking his head. It looked like he was blocking the offense for Al Walker to just come streaking through as Pickler's back to throw again. Pressure coming in. He's hit as he throws.
Oh.
He finds a man who falls into the end zone. Touchdown, Vin Kelly.
Did you say we were down 8 yards from the sack? That's no big deal. We'll just take it all the way to the end zone. And Vin Calia, what a play. Just breaking the plane enough for a touchdown. And what a pass right there by Pickler as well. Not phased by his interceptions in the first half. Not phased by the sack in the previous play. And a gutsy play, but also a red flag thrown. They don't think it went in, Tyler.
Baltimore is thinking, that's too close for comfort, and they're going to use a challenge flag here to see whether or not Vin Calia did cross the plane. We'll take a look under the hood as well. I don't know if we can get a good angle from there. That's a little
Not that
suspect.
one.
We're not going to get a better angle, so we'll trust R62 to make the right call.
After review, the player did cross the plane. The home team will not be charged with a timeout.
So it will be ruled in the favor of Baltimore that it is no touchdown. They'll mark him down at the 1-inch line as they strip away a tackle from Vin Calia. Touchdown, excuse me, not a tackle. He's on offense, not defense, Ty. As now, first and goal from the 1-inch line. There's no running back in the game. It's a 5 wide receiver set. This is completely the advantage of the defense. One of the offensive line gets run over. Pass over the middle is incomplete. I do not understand that play call, Mark. You're at the 1-inch line. You come out with a 5 wide receiver set. I don't know if they're channeling the energy of Steve Sarkisian or something, but that's... I'm shaking my head here.
I am shaking my head too because that could have been thrown for an interception at the red zone, which is the worst possible situation. Given
Again,
how
another wide set.
Oh my
Mark,
god!
Another wide set. This time they do bring Merrill into the game. Maybe it's a shotgun run to maybe throw the defense up. No,
There's
another
Merrill,
pass. Pressure from up the middle, and Pickler's going to escape 1 sack, but he's taken down a second time as it's Dennis Isaacs with sack number 5 for this defense, and it's just pretty much the writing on the wall at this point.
The hand writing on the wall. Again, back to those biblical references, this being a David and Goliath match. Can Pickler convert on this? There was a wide open Merrill on the left earlier, but can another opportunity arise for Pickler to take advantage of?
4 wide receiver set this time. Pickler under center, and he finds Benji Matson. Finally! All the times he tried to find Benji Matson throughout today, he finally finds him here in the third quarter. Touchdown, London.
And to the defense's credit, anytime Pickler threw to Benji Matson, there seemed to always be 1 or 2 defenders on him. But not this time. No one near his area code. Well, now there were 2, but still able to make the play, cutting the lead down by another 6 points.
Here we go. London to try and start the climb back toward this game. Down by 15, Longfellow, who missed a field goal at the end of the half, trying to get it to 14. Snap spot kick is up and it's good, and it's only a 14-point ball game. Baltimore 38, London 24. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for links to apparel from Sector 6, the official apparel provider of the Simulation Football League. And get SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. Sector 6 features replica team jerseys and completely customized jackets, flags, t-shirts, and more. Get the gear the fans wear with Sector 6, 97 Sports Promotions, and the SFL. Here comes Giovanni Bolt, who had a kick return at the end of the half, trying to make something happen. Does get wrapped up safely at the 33, and out trots the Vulture offense to try and extend the lead again.
Credit to number 95 and 29, and the London special teams able to make the tackle because it looked like Giovanni Bolt had space on the right side. But here we are, Baltimore back on the field. How will London? They have to stop them.
You're looking at the spreads courtesy of Jack's data. You're looking pretty favorable if you bet the over, as we're beyond 60 points now as Hazard gets the swing pass near side. He'll turn upfield and grab 9 before he's knocked out of bounds for his first play of this second half. If you're Baltimore here, Mark, maybe get Hazard more involved in the ball game, just try and milk as much clock as possible, or do you still like going through the air in this situation?
Well, definitely milking the clock is a benefit for going with Hazard. They might go for Hazard again in this one based on their formation. Or they may pass. They are a very pass-heavy team. No, they go for Hazard. They milk the clock.
Gaines, fullback dive
yep.
there, Mark, as the Hall of Famer gets involved and picks up the first down. Good little play there for Baltimore.
Absolutely good for them because the one silver lining on the London defense is that they've prevented Baltimore to only 2 of 8 in third down attempts. Well, if you're Baltimore, just don't get to third down attempt situation.
Hazard with the call here, gets a nice little hole to run through, and he picks up the first down to the London 41-yard line.
Yes, that's why his name is Hazard. Hazard, another word for warning, because warning, he's going to make a first down, pickup of 10 yards. You got to watch out for this guy, defense.
He slides through the offensive line and picks up the first down, and now the Vultures are continuing to fly over these London Knights. Hazard now sits off to the right in the backfield behind Wigmore, who's under center. He'll get the call again. Block is the first time. One man to beat. He isn't going to get away from Anthony Weil this time, but it's another good run for Jimmy Hazard.
Oh, man. A lot of credit has to be with the blockers because, like, on paper and on screen, Hazard doesn't have the same foot speed as, say, Robert Merrill this game, but boy, just the wide amount of open space for already up to 77 yards and 10 attempts according to our statisticians. That's good for 7.7 yards per carry down.
Shout out to Jan Varner and Mark Chisholm doing all the stats work as Hazard gets the call for another run, but this time is going to go backwards, tackled by Telemac Scarborough, and we'll shoot it back to SFL headquarters for yet another score from Mexico City.
Mike St. Green, the early candidate for Run of the Year.
Yeah, Cam. Mexico City is continuing the whitewash of Jacksonville. Phoenix Jones with a powerful 32-yard touchdown run. Mexico City up 34-6. Total domination.
All over the Kings. Back to Tyler and Mark.
Untouchable is Phoenix Jones as Jimmy Hazard looks to try and make a run of his own here in this football game, but he's tackled 2 yards shy of the marker, and my goodness, it's the story of Baltimore and Mexico City, 2 dominant teams here early in the middle block.
Absolutely. Dominant definitely is the right word for it. And also this drive, Hazard deciding to show up. They've been calling his number in 5 out of the 6 plays that they've had in this drive, and he has been providing positive yards, very good, solid yards for Baltimore. So, as well, very productive.
One of the low points for Baltimore is only 2 of 8 on third down. That's and going the other way for London. This could be the huge break they need. Oh my goodness, it's Telemac Scarborough. He's going to get chased down by Jimmy Hazard. Hazard with a huge tackle to save a touchdown.
Jimmy Hazard, and oh boy, credit to this defense getting the interception. Incredible play. I mean, being able to pick Wigmore, first of all, is impressive. The guy has only 13 interceptions so far this season, but almost taking it home. Hazard with the incredible play, incredible hustle, despite playing despite being given the ball in 5 of the 6 snaps prior, just able to rush down the defender.
I mean, if I'm Chad Rowland in that play, I'm running in front of my man like you should. But there's no one in front of you. Maybe turn around and block Hazard, and maybe he springs him forward for a touchdown. But by and large, this is the London Knights' best starting field position of the ball game as Pickler is back to pass. Pressure coming from the outside. He has to throw it away and nearly throws it immediately away to the Vulture defense, and it falls incomplete as Marvin Himes is in on the coverage.
If you're looking for a game that will give you heart attacks, look no further, folks. Because this game, you never know if it's going one way or another, especially with Pickler at the helm.
Pickler all alone in the gun. 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and Robert Merrill is flexed off to the right of the line of scrimmage. All slant pattern and an out route. Pickler finds Callie on the far side, who spins away from one and tries to get away from another tackler, but can't. That's Alvin Mack, who comes up with a shoestring tackle.
And you can just see Vin Callia playing. He's not giving up, playing with as much heart as any other player. You know, just keeping the arms, keeping the legs going, trying to get more yards. Every single inch matters, and every single play, especially with this one, 5 out, 4 out.
Pickler with a deep drop, pressure coming, and it's sack number 6 for Baltimore. They have gotten to Pickler again. Suron Yates with another tackle for loss, and this time comes to the sack variety, his second of the ball game.
Tyler, I don't know if I'm sacked that many times. I'm gonna have nightmares of being in the pocket at all.
Well, if you're London, you're just glad that Pickler didn't try to force something there and maybe pick up interception number 6. We'll see. The kicker, Peter McLongfellow, tried to amend for his earlier misses as its snap spot kick is up, and this time it's good, and they'll cut into the deficit by 3. It's 38-27, and it's all Baltimore at the moment. Visit the SFL's YouTube channel at youtube.com/SimulationFL for an archive of every game, every draft, every moment you might have missed since the Simulation Football League got its start in 2013. SFL YouTube features top 10 plays of the week, archive people behind players segments, and all the major milestones in league history. Just over 4 minutes left to go here in the third quarter as McLongfellow gets us going again as Giovanni Bolt starts his return from around the 15. Angles it to the near side is finally wrapped up around the 33, and we send you back to SFL headquarters with Cam and Mike, and we have another game break from Mexico City.
Thank you, Tyler. Mike, these plays that Mexico City's making today are just bonkers.
Yeah, Cam, Jacksonville trying to at least get on the board to get closer. Jack Wall with the catch, but Ben Charles with the big hit. And the recovery by Zach Daggs, and Mexico City hangs on to the 34-6 lead.
2 forced fumbles by DBs today in Mexico. Back to Tyler and Mark at Vulture Stadium.
I mean, you're leading big, but that's a clutch play there on the goal line. Thanks, Cam. Thanks, Mike, as Tucker Lewis will be out for the remainder of this ball game. But as we saw earlier, his replacement who came in made a pretty big play with a nice sack, so maybe not too much to worry about if you're Baltimore. First play was a run for Hazard, which got 3 yards. Now a deep shot to Irvin on the near side. He's got nothing but daylight in front of him as he finally gets taken down from behind by Anthony Wayo. A touchdown-saving tackle, but that puts the Baltimore Vultures into the red zone.
I mean, Jesus Christ, that route, no one was there. He left his defender, and of course, give credit to this huge tackle right here. But Tyler, I'm at a loss for words. Just the beauty and the excellence that this offense plays with.
I have to agree with that. That's the second time they've run that play where it's gone for big yardage. Hazard gets the call up the middle, fighting his way to the goal line when it's tackled just shy by Chad Rowland and company. It'll be second and goal from the 1 yard line.
The only bright side that London that I can think of is the fact that we're still in the third quarter, by the way. 27-38.
It's still not too much to come back from, but of a touchdown here, then it could be Baltimore with the victory. Wigmore under center, Hazard off to the right. They'll run with Hazard, and he has a nice lane to run through. And Hazard picks up touchdown number 2 for Baltimore.
Hazard, the unspoken hero of tonight, he has been pivotal. The rushing yards that he provides in first down situations, he has 83 yards tonight. His second touchdown, he has been having a night.
And now the lead balloons back out. It's now 44-27 after a very quick drive. 4 plays, 50 yards all told after the 3-yard run by Jimmy Hazard. Here comes Shark Tarkington on to attempt the extra point. Snap, spot kick is up, and Tarkington's extra point is good. 45-27 your score. Coverage of the Simulation Football League 17 season on Next Level Sports continues next Sunday, September 19th at 2 p.m. Eastern, with the league's top team, Baltimore, heading down to Florida to face the surging Jacksonville Kings. We'll also keep tabs on an Atlantic battle just a few hours south between Charleston and Florida. It all comes your way next Saturday on Next Level Sports. Tarkington boots it downfield to Saren Storm. He gets his return started, trying to angle to the far side and right into the coverage team, and is taken down at the 22-yard line mark. They were able to tack on 3. Meanwhile, Baltimore tacked on 7. Their last drive, if they have any hopes left, they have to get a touchdown here.
Absolutely, they're down more than 2 scores. They're down 18, and they'll need every touchdown that they can get.
5 wideouts for London. A familiar sight today. Pickler looks near side, finds Mike St. Green for another grab, as, again, over the 100-yard mark, 111 yards officially for Mike St. Green.
Absolutely, you're right. Familiar formation, familiar play, familiar result of a play. Mike St. Green, the leading receiver so far in terms of yards for London. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep feeding the beast.
2nd and 4 now. Linebacker show a blitz to the middle and the near side. London. Pickler finds, and it's picked off again. Troy Loshaw makes it Pickler's first interception of the second half, 6th on the day.
Tyler, I know we've called this a David and Goliath matchup, but I don't remember that story with Goliath winning. I remember the underdog winning, but it seems like in this game, David, who was London, went to battle and he forgot his slingshot at home, or he forgot to pick up stones by the river to load up on, because it's not looking good for this offense.
Not looking good indeed, as the handoff for Hazard near side. Another large hole to run for Hazard, and he's down to the 28. Another big scamper as he'll now cross the 100-yard mark on the ground.
Just solid running, solid blocking, and what more can you ask for? Again, we said it earlier, Baltimore is a pass-first team, but they are showing flashes of their great running game as well. And they're using it here because they have such a lead that they can afford to use their running game much more.
Quick drop from Wigmore. He's going to go down as Chad Rowland didn't get called offsides this time. He comes up with a sack, and that's a little bright spot for London to hang their hat on.
Absolutely forcing 2nd and long. If they can force another stop for a 3rd and long, then that's a favorable position for them.
Offset eye behind Wigmore here on 2nd and long. They'll run with Hazard to the far side. Hazard tries to get around T-Roy and does. He spins upfield and will pick up good yardage down to the 22.
This beautiful running from Hazard all around. He has decided to show up first half. Not a lot of showing from him, but the second half, wow.
Now it's another 3rd down for Baltimore. Only 2 of 9 on converting so far today. Wigmore to throw. Looks near side. Deflected away by Tanner Hendricks. And that will have Baltimore have to settle for a field goal. Under 30 seconds to go now. They'll trot out Shark Tarkington to attempt a 39-yard field goal from the right hash. Oh, snap, corralled, snap spot. Kick is up, and it is good from Tarkington. He amends for his long field goal miss, and it's now back out to a 21-point lead for Baltimore.
And on the bright side, it's still only a 3-score game. London has climbed up 4, but that is still a huge mountain to climb.
Now, Baltimore trying to kick this one away and trying to go into the fourth quarter with a big lead. Shark Tarkington on to kick it away to Saren Storm, who waits near his own goal line. Oots it downfield, and Saren Storm will start his return from the goal line. Angling up right through the coverage team is going to go absolutely nowhere, taken down at the 22, and Pickler, after interception number 6, there, Mark Lopez just needs to hold on to the football and be a little bit more conservative. You are down by 21, but forcing it into areas where there is a bunch of coverage is not what you want to do, right? I think we'll get Mark Smith in here a little bit as they'll run here on first down with Robert Merrill going absolutely nowhere as the defensive line gets to him. That's Suron Yates, who had the big sack on the last drive. As we're still trying. And that'll take us to the end of the third quarter, so get your fours up. And Chad, you're watching the Simulation Football presented by 8 p.m. Music on For the Fans. As we'd like to remind you, 8 p.m. Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. 8 p.m. Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit 8pmmusic.com. Clear to throw here on second down, looking near side, caught by Mike St. Green, and he's down to the 35-yard line. That'll move the chains for a first down for the Knights.
Just keep feeding the beast. Perhaps sneak in a few longer plays for Mike St. Green, because he has been all reliable finding those sore open spots in the coverage.
And now with a new set of downs, the defense will play bump coverage on the outside. Pickler under center. He looks to throw. Finds Merrill on the outside, who spins away from one tackler, but is eventually wrapped up by Frank Smith for about a gainer of 3 yards.
I feel like just the point difference is pressuring them to keep going faster and make longer plays potentially. But with the record of interceptions that Pickler has this game, those kind of risky plays are probably still out of the playbook.
Merrill gets the call here on second down, and he goes backward this time, back to the original line of scrimmage at the 36. And now it'll be 3rd and 10 now for the Knights as the defense holds strong.
That said, Tyler, 3rd and 10, third downs, they've been very good tonight. 8 and 11, still keeping up their strong third down conversion rate. They might be able to do it again.
See what they cook up here on third down. A crucial play. They're going to go out route near side for Kalia, and he's well short. Maybe a 5-yard out route. Should have been a 10-yard out route. But Baltimore's defense will play excellent coverage. And now London has a decision on their own 41-yard line.
It's definitely a difficult situation because you're looking at the clock, you're looking at the score. And perhaps if you don't go for it now, when are you going to go for it? They decide to punt anyway.
If not now, then when? And it looks like it'll be later before they try a 4th down conversion. They're going to opt to punt it away with a punt from Bono Wilkinson down to Giovanni Bolt, who does have a kick return touchdown today. But this time he's met up right where he caught it, right at the 26, and Baltimore will take over.
And if you're Baltimore, just run the clock. You're up 3 scores. I can safely hand it to Hazard. And even then, Hazard has been playing great the last couple drives. that you might end up scoring anyway the way he's playing.
Hazard and T-Roy Gaines in the backfield, 3 wide receivers out in the formation. Pass is a nice little slant route over the middle, and that's good enough for the first down, as it's Mac Chima with the reception. He's got a couple touchdowns on the day and now over 50 yards on the reception.
Yep, just one of the favorite receivers of Wigmore. Targeted 8 times tonight, only 3 receptions apparently. So a lot of the times where we've seen deflections on Wigmore's passes were targets on Chima, but this time, good collection right there.
Those 2 previous receptions, though, Mark, were two touchdowns, so a good record for Mac Chima. Hazard gets the call, spins away from a tackle, and then is finally wrapped up by Rain Rie after a pickup of 3 yards on first down.
Showing the spin moves as well, showing he has the entire toolkit. Hazard is here to impress.
He's done quite a bit of impressing so far this season, as far as he's able to get the hard runs when he needs to. That's his stereotypical running mentality, as it's been more of a pass first team, as he'll get the reception here, and they're going to get the defender, Brandon Ewing, with a face mask on Jimmy Hazard, so it'll be a free first down for Baltimore.
Face mask, number 26.
So indeed, move the chains, as Ewing is the man receiving the infraction, and it's a first down for the Vultures.
Definitely not what you want to do when you're trying to chase this lead. But it's rough. It's rough, Tyler. When everything is not going your way, what much more can you do?
Must play mistake-free football against Baltimore, and that's something that London has not done today. Wigmore to throw over the middle, and it's a sliding, diving receiver. That's Mac Chima with another reception and another first down for Baltimore.
And up to 100 yards based on the heads-up display that we saw right there. Yep, just solid catching by Mac Chima all around tonight.
New set of downs from the London 24. Wigmore under center. Hazard off to his right behind the line, along with 2 tight ends in that direction. Wigmore to throw, looking near side, and almost intercepted by Brandon Ewing, the streaking quarterback coming off of the soft zone, able to deflect that away, and it brings up second down.
There has been 10 pass deflections already by this London defense. It is kind of a shame that only one of those pass deflections turned into an interception. That's what they would have wanted sorely this game.
4 wideouts now on second down for the Vultures. Wigmore to pass, looking near side. It is into coverage, and somehow Mac Chima comes down with it, down to the 2-yard line.
Mac Chima. Good stuff right there.
That's Brandon Ewing again in on coverage. He had the face mask, he had the deflection, but he can't out-muscle Mac Chima there near the goal line. And Baltimore is sitting pretty, looking to punch it in and just continue to pour it on here late on in this ball game. Under 7 minutes to go. It'll be another passing play. Looking underneath, that's hauled in by Ivory Irvin. Easy as you like, and that's Ivory Irvin's first touchdown of the ball game. And the score balloons even further.
Yeah, number 1 in touchdowns coming into this game, going up to 10 touchdowns in the season. Incredible performance by him so far this season. But even in this game, targeted 11 times, 7 receptions. Now this would be his 92nd yards in the evening. So also a solid showing from him besides Mac Chima.
Now, if you're looking at how that play was developed, in basketball they call it a pick play, but you can't pick in football. So that's a nice rub route ran by the tight end on the near side, which was able to free Ivory Irvin to get into the end zone as its snap spot kick is up and good from Shark Tarkington. And the lead has now ballooned to 28 points. Coverage of the Simulation Football League's 17th season on For the Fans continues next Sunday, September 19th at 4 p.m. Eastern headlined by a mega showdown on the West Coast where the 5-3 Portland Fleet will meet the 5-3 Los Angeles Lycans in a battle for the division lead. Bonus coverage includes Charleston, Florida, and Lone Star, Arizona. It all comes your way next Sunday on For the Fans. Darren Storm gets his return started from the goal line, angles near side, able to bounce off a tackler, but is then wrapped up at the 23. And we send you back down south of the border for Cam and Irvine to give us another update between Mexico City and Jacksonville.
Thanks, Tyler. London's saying check, please. So is Jacksonville.
Yeah, Cam, the route continues as Matt Wilson continues his hot day and finds Jason Bartley streaking down the right sideline for another long touchdown, 60 yards this time, 44-13, Mexico City.
Jacksonville's going 6-2, and Pickler's going down again. Another sack for Baltimore. Back to Tyler and Mark in Maryland.
Thanks, Cam. That's Suron Yates' third sack of the ball game. 8 total today for the Baltimore Vultures. And for London, you just got to forget about today. You got to learn from all these mistakes, from these miscues, and try to come out next week with a better game plan. Because right now, Baltimore has your number. Pass over the middle is caught by Benji Matson. Good to get back past the original line of scrimmage and close to the line to gain.
Yeah, Tyler, we were talking about lessons or learning lessons from this game. For London, though, is it too late to learn a lesson? They might be looking at the 3-5 record. They are on an unfortunate string of 3 losses prior to this game, 3 close losses, and now a rout. Where else have they to learn a lesson in?
Pickler over the middle, deflected and incomplete as it's been Troy Loshaw's day. It's been Austin Brigham's day. It's been the entire secondary's day for Baltimore.
Absolutely. Just playing out of their minds, as playing the way that we expect the number 1 defense to be playing. And it's very rare that one team both has the number 1 scoring defense and number 1 scoring offense. That is your Baltimore Vultures.
Now their offense will get a chance to add even more points to the board as the punt is away from Bono Wilkinson down to Giovanni Bolt. He gets the return started from about the 35 and takes it up to the 38-yard line as it's all pretty much a formality now here, Mark, with 5 minutes, 39 seconds remaining. Probably going to see a whole lot of running plays, just trying to almost have a little bit of mercy for this London team.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's the backups that are coming in now.
I have to see. I still see Wigmore in there. I still see Hazard in there. So not just yet here for the backups as Wigmore's back to pass, finds Makchima underneath, turns upfield, picks up 8 yards before being brought down. And it's those nice little short passes. Even though they're leading by a huge margin, they still feel comfortable throwing the ball. And if they can make comfortable passes like that, they continue to march the football down here, Mark, I don't see why they don't just cruise away with this victory.
Absolutely. It's just comfort is the name of the game.
And off Hazard near side has another hole to run through. He's down to the 35 and he's tackled finally at the 32-yard line as Hazard tries to take over the storylines.
Everyone who had blocking in their job description, give them a raise, Baltimore, because that was some incredible blocking right there. And Hazard, of course, takes the opportunity, makes the most of it. Picks up a huge gain on that one.
I love the play from the tackle, Michael Cole, who came around. That's number 74 coming off the edge and trying to spring Hazard free. And this entire line, from top to bottom, has done an excellent job of protecting Wigmore and Hazard, as Hazard this time is getting tackled into the backfield for one of the rare times today. It's Selwyn Lane with the tackle for loss.
You're right, absolutely. It's in those inside routes that Hazard struggled in today, but anytime he went outside, more often than not, you'll see the edge sealed, and suddenly you have a giant lane for Hazard to run through, and that's thanks to their block.
Just over 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Offset eye behind Wigmore. They'll hand it off to Hazard as Hazard's again met in the backfield, so another tackle for loss, and this time it's Cam Frosby, who's actually done quite well. That's his third tackle for a loss today.
Yep. definitely. To be fair, the London defense has been on the field a lot because of how many times they've turned the ball over. So you're gonna see those huge numbers on the stat sheet, but still, credit the defense for getting those tackles for losses in the first place.
It was to Ashton Chad. Yeah, Pickler has thrown 6 interceptions today. Conversely, Wigmore's only thrown 1. And the big story of the day is points off the turnovers. They're looking to add more here to that total as pass over the middle. It's picked off, and I speak too soon as Rain Rie comes across the middle to pick up the second interception for Jack Wigmore today.
That's a well caught interception as well. Climbing the ladder to pick that one up. And yeah, securing the ball and make sure that it's an actual interception. A great defensive play right there, but might be too little too late. Could have used more of those.
Trying to find Daly Holder, who only has 1 reception today. And on the third target of the day, Rain Rie with a just heads up play from the safety spot coming back over to center field from being one of the members who's playing maybe close to the line. Pickler now trying to immediately capitalize, and that's picked off. Oh, and it gives it right back to him as it's going to be a big pick, and it's by the backup safety. Felix Maryland with the interception. 7 on the day for Johnny Pickler.
I thought that was a catch by his diving receiver, but no, right there, you're right. Absolutely picked off right there in a single play. I mean, Pickler has got to calm down, make some of those short passes again. If not, just for looks' sake, because you're down 27-55. It's like he is running up the score for Baltimore, basically.
Our eye formation, goal line set here as they try to run out the clock. Handoff far side as we will now see the backups in for Baltimore. That's going to be Damon Morehouse getting his first touch of the ball game, picks up 4 yards as the Vultures are just looking to see out the rest of this football game.
Definitely the undisputed number 1 team, showing why they are who they are. London, though, even though we can say they put up a good fight, is still the 7 interceptions thing.
Another goal line set for Baltimore here on second down. Other handoff to Morehouse to the near side. He's tackled in the backfield by Rain Rie. Loss of about 3. It'll be third down coming up.
Tyler, if you are opposing teams looking at one of the top teams looking into the playoffs, watching this game, what kind of scouting report are you going to make on Baltimore, and how would you defend them?
That's a real tough question. I mean, we'll talk about more of that when we come back from the 2-minute warning as Baltimore with a commanding lead is looking to salt this one away. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on For the Fans.
What's up, SFL Nation and esports fans? Come join me every Thursday night at 6 p.m. for SFL Nights with AJ Striker. On my show, we discuss game-by-game analysis. We also do our SFL chat around a water cooler, which often features pick'ems and different hot topics around the league. And then I end things off with my 4th and Goal interviews with wonderful members of our community that are informative, insightful, and unforgettable. I'm looking forward to bringing you another great podcast next week. But until then, y'all, stay safe, treat each other well. Striker out.
Love that. Third down now here as we enter the 2-minute warning here in Baltimore. Baltimore with a commanding lead. Backup quarterback is Adam Jefferson to try and find someone deep over the middle. That's incomplete. That's DeAndre Fields, the intended target, and William Davidson with the deflection, and it brings up fourth down. Coming up on the post-game update, we'll send you to bonus coverage of Jacksonville and Mexico City. And we won't send you to Jacksonville, Mexico City. That game's wrapping up over there because we'll send you back to SFL Studios after the commercial with Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green. They're going to analyze the late slate and preview tonight's remaining action around the league, headlined by an East Division showdown between Tulsa and St. Louis. And it's all coming up on the post-game update. Snap spot. Shark Tarkington nearly has his kick blocked, but finds a way through the weeds, and it's up and good. 58-27 score. A 31-point deficit for London, and it's just been too much and too little from London, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely rough day for them. Definitely the turnovers did not help them. Some flashes of good things going for them, Tyler, though, like their conversions in third down for sure, the connection to Mike St. Green, Pickler's favorite connection so far tonight. So there are flashes of good things, but it seems like the turnovers just overshadow any good thing that's happened to them so far.
Storm with a little bit of life here at the end of the game as he gets to return back to 27 as London Office takes the field. Let's go back to what we were talking about before the 2-minute warning there, Mark, and how would I defend this incredible offense that Baltimore has? I honestly can't tell you, because if you play soft zone like we've seen, they're going to hit you underneath with a couple passes to Max Shima. If you're going to try and play them hard, they'll just throw it over the top to Ivory Irvin. You really can't defend a whole lot against this team, as Pickler will find Saren Ben Kelly on the near side. That's going to be a long touchdown of about 71 yards. And London will get a touchdown here in hashtag garbage time. And the score line is now cut into by a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. This is definitely just a garbage time touchdown. Still, they went for it, so good on them. But it shows you that they have the ability to score. Unfortunately for them, this was against the backup defense, so not much to say about it. I kind of agree with you on the point of the fact that it's difficult to defend against Baltimore's defense. We said the very first thing we said this game is that they have a wealth of weapons, and because of this wealth of weapons, there's no one single weak receiver who you can bully, because as soon as you double one or you double two of them, you're gonna leave one open receiver for Wigmore, and Wigmore has been playing lights out this season. So your scheme could be up in front, pressure Wigmore before he can let go of the ball, perhaps. Tyler, give him different looks, but I think really, just so much weapons to cover. Probably a defensive coordinator. I'm not a defensive coordinator, so I can't make the best decision. But we'll see how when playoff rolls around, we're gonna see the better defenses show up for Baltimore.
A last-ditch effort to probably get back in this game as London attempts an onside kick, and it goes the way of Baltimore as now comes back on the offense, led by their backup quarterback Adam Jefferson. And with 1:35 left to go, probably see a couple of runs. That should be that. Handoff will be to the left side as London will take a timeout, just extending the game time and giving us more things to talk about, as Baltimore will continue to be the only undefeated team in the league here, Mark. They're going to face Jacksonville coming off of a route themselves to Mexico City, and the game going on alongside ours.
Yep, definitely an interesting matchup for that one. Both teams really looking to bounce back from a tough loss.
Another handoff for Morehouse. He gets a little bit more room to run, gets down to the 34 before being wrapped up, and London burns yet another timeout. And for London, it's their 4th straight loss and their 5th straight loss to Baltimore. in this series history. They're going to go and face Carolina, and Carolina's going to be hungry to try and get back in the division. London now going to be at 3-5. If they don't win against Carolina at home, their season may as well be in jeopardy because they're going to have to play Baltimore in Week 12 again. And if this game's anything to go by here, Mark, I'm not as high as I was on London's playoff chances.
Absolutely, a must win for all of their upcoming games, and we say that with them, as you said, facing Baltimore, a must win still if they want to keep their hopes alive. But the question is it a can win?
Baltimore electing not to try the long field goal and get 60-plus points. We'll just go ahead and punt it away to the far sideline. That's going to take a bounce, and they'll down it at the 2-yard line. That's a fantastic punt from Pablo Gaines. And on comes the London Knights offense to try and maybe get another garbage time touchdown. They got one earlier on one play to Vincalia. Can they get another one here, Mark?
Yep, we shall see about that. Yeah, but it's they are in this position too. So with the front four of Baltimore, who knows?
Beckler to throw here on first down in his own end zone. Will find Calia over the middle. That's good enough for a first down and down to the 21-yard line. Both offense and defense hustle back to the line as Beckler takes the snap, looking over the middle into coverage for Benji Matson, and that falls incomplete as it's just another play that falls the way of Baltimore again here, Mark.
Yep, that's just the way it is. That's just the way, Baltimore does things, especially.
Second down upcoming now for London. Likely to pass. All slant pattern over the middle. They'll find Sarah and Storm. Good pick of about 15 yards. Down to the 36.
That was a good pass.
Under 50 seconds to go. They will spike it with 46 seconds remaining. And there's a couple shout outs for everyone that's helped produce our game today. Of course, Cameron Irvine, been our producer. Jan Varner and a late edition. Mark Chisholm doing stats for us. Thank you, gentlemen. Of course, Mark, you've been alongside this entire football game. Really do appreciate everything everybody does. And Mark, it's been great to have you alongside up here in the booth.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure working with you and the rest of the team. We are granted such a pleasure of a game with an incredible offense to shoot.
Bickler is going to pass. He'll find Tony Phillips over the middle. That's going to be Rocco McLovin with the reception. And they'll move across the 50 down to the Baltimore 45 as Pickler will hike it and spike it with 30 seconds left to go in this ball game.
Yeah, you really want to go for this one, I guess. Definitely a morale booster if you can get the touchdown in this drive. Despite everything that's happened, at least go out on a positive note with that touchdown. We'll see, though, with Pickler, what kind of play he draws up and if he won't turn it over.
Looking near side on the corner route for Vincalia. That's incomplete. As we'll take a look at the games going on later tonight, kind of preview the post-game update for you all tonight. In the final two games of Week 8, San Diego is going to go to Texas and take on Fort Worth. Josh Circle and Wade Phillips have that call, and the game going on inside that on the SFL Twitch network, that's going to be Tulsa and St. Louis. The director of broadcasting and recent Hall of Fame inductee Mike Daggs, along with his best friend in the whole wide world, Matt Wilson, will have that call. Two good games to look forward to later tonight here in the SFL. Third down play here for Pickler and company is a short pass over the middle looking for Benji Matson. That's a yard shy. And now you can't spike it here, Pickler. You have to get beyond the 35. You can't pull a college football play and spike it when you're on fourth down. 10 seconds to go. Pickler passing again over the middle. He's got his man. That's Benji Matson, who spins away from one tackler, stakes out a one, stakes out a two, and he's down to the 13. But time is going to run out on the drive and in the ball game. The Baltimore Vultures look as dominant as advertised and will be 8-0 moving into next week. Mark, walk us through today and the dominant performance that Baltimore had today. I think that's just going to be about it today. As for the fans Twitch audience, we've got post game for our main audience on For the Fans. That's all for us, and we'll see you next Sunday. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. And for everyone still remaining with us, Mark, what a day for this defense and for the offense of Baltimore.
Well, there's one primary stat that stood out amongst everything else, and we saw it in the final preview of all the stats. The 7 turnovers really hurt London a lot. Not only did it hurt London, half of the time those interceptions put Baltimore in very good, starting positions. We've seen Wigmore make a lot more yards than he did tonight, but that's because tonight, a lot of times he started within the red zone of London. So you gotta give credit to this defense, the defense to offense dynamic they have going for them. And yeah, they really showed what they are capable of and why they are the number one, Tyler. I think there is no doubt in my mind, and I think there's no doubt in many people's minds, that they're definitely the ones to beat coming into the playoffs.
Now, Pickler had the yards, 500 plus all told, but it's those interceptions that are the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, because Baltimore, again, just too dominant, and London just wasn't up to the task today.
No siree.
As Hazard had a good game, Wigmore had a good game, a lot of receivers had a good game, but let's talk about who you think is going to be the player of the game there, Mark.
If I had to give it, I'd give it to the defense. Like, Wigmore had 3 interceptions. Chances are they might give it to Wigmore with his plentiful touchdowns. He had 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions though, so this might be a tough call for player of the game. I mean, even Hazard had 130 plus yards, 2 touchdowns. You can point to a lot of players being player of the game. You can say the entire team's a player of the game. That's just how good they've been playing.
Maybe go on the opposite side of the football and give Austin Brigham player of the game. 3 first half picks.
Yep.
A couple more picks for the rest of the team. 7 all told for Baltimore. That entire defense played lights out football today.
Brigham, don't forget Bolt with that return touchdown. Came out of nowhere, but not really out of nowhere because we know he can do it.
So the SFL pundits have picked Jag Wigmore for player of the game. 21 of 36, 317 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a 101.3 quarterback rating. So for everybody here in Baltimore, for Mark Lopez, Mark Chisholm, Shan Varner, and Cameron Irvine, I've been Tyler Falk. Thank you so much for sticking with us. And until next time, good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back to Sim Football Postgame along with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine, and Mike, a couple of routes and our television coverage today. It was not pretty for Jacksonville or London, but Baltimore and Mexico City have put themselves in a group of 5 of championship contenders right now, or at least heavy championship contenders.
Yeah, Baltimore and Mexico City have clearly done that. I mean, we pretty much knew that about Baltimore coming in, whether it was a win or lose. They are clearly in the championship hunt. You know, these are the season 15 champs, and they haven't really fallen off from that point. And they're just flexing their muscles right now. And this team is they're showing you how great they are and how complete that they are. They can do it so many different ways, whether it's Jack Wigmore throwing, you know, the first 4 touchdowns that he had today. The receiving core is deep. Mac Chima, he goes for over 100 yards again today, and he's the number 2 wide receiver on this team. Ivory Irvin, he did have another 100 yards today as well. But then you go to the defense. They have 2 MVP and definitely 2 defensive player of the year candidates on this team. Sirron Yates with another 3 sacks that raises his total to 16, I believe, at this point. And Giovanni Bode, he added to his league leading interception total with interception, and then you add in his special teams work, with the huge kick return to keep Baltimore a step ahead of London today. So yeah, they're clearly a championship contender, and their 7-0 record tells me that they're a championship favorite at this point.
Yeah, now 8-0, and Mexico City 6-2, both atop their divisions, and that's a wrap for Sunday, except for the last 2 matchups of the evening, and these are 4 teams that really want to make themselves relevant again. San Diego at Fort Worth, Tulsa at St. Louis, especially the Gladiators, who with a win could get themselves right back in the thick of the playoff hunt. Should be interesting. What's a storyline you're looking out for, Mike?
Yeah, I'm looking at this Tulsa and St. Louis matchup this afternoon, Cam. This is over the past couple of seasons it turned into a little mini rivalry. It's like whoever wins this matchup will probably going to be the team that ends up in the playoffs. It's a tough Eastern Division over there. Louisiana has put themselves back in the picture. St. Louis, it's a huge game. It's actually a huge game for both teams. Tulsa, they want to keep pace, but it's a big game for St. Louis as well, that they want to keep pace with Louisiana in this division, and look for a lot of Eagle Mondavi as well as Paul Delavu. Christian Brown, those are his favorite targets. These are 2 of the leading receivers in this league, so look for a lot out of them today. And that St. Louis secondary has always been potent as well. These guys come to play game in and game out, so it's going to be tough on Tulsa. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this rivalry tonight. As you know, the game early in the season ended with a controversial call on the 1-yard line. We'll see how it's going to turn out tonight.
New kickoff time. San Diego Fort Worth will get underway at 5:25 right here on FTF Twitch. Tulsa and St. Louis will follow that shortly at 5:35. Those are your upcoming updated kickoff times here on the Sunday Spotlight. This is all for us from SFL Studios today. Check out our wrap-up coming up on YouTube tomorrow. But for Mike St. Green, I'm Cameron Irvine. Thanks for joining us here on For the Fans today. And action continues on the FTF and SFL Twitch channels. Good night, everybody.